gonna do, and I'll present you the ingredients. We're gonna cook with some bok choy a different way. Usually we've done this in the past with a lot of bok choy. It's of course I love it because it's great, lots of fiber, a lot of vitamins, vitamin K. It's also, I guess it helps also in terms of cleansing. But we also, you always use it in like Asian, which is where it comes from, like Asian cooking with like ginger and garlic and stuff. So we're gonna do it a little bit different, but still very good. So number one, I'm going to, before we go and talk about the bok choy, these are my ingredients for the sauce. So just a couple of tomatoes, so a small onion cut in half. All of this is going to be blended, some garlic, and actually I'm going to throw into the sauce, to the blended, a little bit of like a sweet pepper. This is yellow. And then I'm going to put a couple of carrots. These have been just peeled, the whole thing. Everything is going to go blended. So I have my blender here, and I'm going to start adding some of the items in here and then some water. So as we go, we can just rough chop the carrot. So what the carrot's going to provide is just like obviously color. The sauce that we're going to make is really simple, so it's really light. I like it at this time of it. It's not quite cold yet. So, and then we're going to do the onion. The onion goes, since we're going to blend it, has to be pretty, if not, just peel it nicely and add it in. Same thing with garlic. I'm going to put like, this is actually quite a large piece of garlic. So one will do. If you want it extra garlicky, then just trim that top. And then goes, I also like to trim sometimes if the bottom part is green, I'll trim that too. And then in goes, and then the tomatoes. The tomatoes, just trim the top. I quarter them to make it easy. And this is like the high-speed blender, but this is like, so I don't peel these tomatoes because they're just gonna be pureed really well in the sauce. And I have a couple, these are plum, and a couple of like these other red, or like vine ripe tomatoes. Just make sure that, yeah, that little core, you can cut it out. It doesn't fully come out. And then, so I have a couple of chilies, which are beautiful. Right now, if you can find them in the farmer's market, there's a lot of chilies like this coming up. But I don't want to make it spicy. I know that this one, I tried it the other day. Whew, it was fire. So I am not going to make it spicy. I don't want to. So instead of chopping it and adding it, even if you remove the seeds, it will get really spicy. I'm going to put it whole when we cook the sauce. But a whole like that will actually won't make it as spicy, but it'll provide just this really nice spicy flavor. As for the bell pepper, we are going to open it up and just remove all the seeds like we always do. Nice and clean cutting board. So actually, just because we're going to provide the texture with the bok choy, I'm going to dice just a little bit of these two, top and bottom goes into the sauce too. I can put even a couple of parts there, and these ones I'm going to dice. Now, meanwhile, I put a little bit of olive oil in my pan. And the other thing I have is here, I'm cooking some lentils, just brown lentils that are almost done. But for this one, I'm just going to rough chop the pepper. And I'm going to start sauteing it in the pan. So in goes. And this is up to you if you want to blend it or not, but I thought it would provide a little bit of extra consistency to the dish on top of the bok choy. So here's I'm going to add maybe about halfway through of water, and I'm going to blend it. So just make sure, put a little bit of pepper in it. And season it with a little bit of salt, a little pinch. Remember, you can always add salt at the end of the table. It's easier to do that than try to take out salt when you've already added it and made it salty. So I'm going to blend it. Meanwhile, here I'm already sauteing my peppers. And they saute really quick. Lower the heat. And then this is what I was saying. I'm going to add the chili just like that, whole. And it'll cook in there. As the peppers cook, and I'm just going to leave it in. And to this, I'm going to add the sauce, okay? So remember, the sauce has the onion, the garlic, so it has to cook to kind of tame those flavors and get them all together. So I'm going to add my sauce right here. You see how it's kind of like nice? It's not very heavy. And I'm going to just let it boil for a little bit. So you can just let it like that or cover it. That's either one works. Meanwhile, back to our bok choy. Just the only thing you should know is that, I remove all remove it from the bottom part. I cut the bottom part. Make sure to wash really well the insides here. That's where they tend to get a lot of dirt. So you wash the whole thing, of course, but make sure to wash it really well. That's the only thing that, and then this one is really easy. So we're gonna just rough chop it. Just like that. And these, I like it good. It also gets a little bit of like a spice. I love their texture. And we're gonna cook it. Once that sauce, basically our sauce is gonna cook for like maybe 10 minutes or something like that. So while that cooks, we have already our bok choy ready. I'm gonna move it here. And also while that cooks, I'm gonna show you the little surprise that we've got for you. And I'm gonna just wait here. So if you see already, our sauce is already simmering on the sides, but it's still fairly nice and light. So we're gonna bring it to simmer a little longer, and then we're gonna add the bok choy. The bok choy will literally cook for like maybe 3 minutes in the boiling sauce, and that'll be it. So I'm gonna move it because I want to show you what we're gonna do here. Okay, so that my sauce is going. So the surprise here we're gonna do is someone last week was talking about cactus. So we're gonna show you here about our cactus. So you buy it like this. This is the cactus. Have to be very careful. Grab it from the bottom part. I'm gonna just show you how it is. But they have these little like thorns. So they have thorns. Every little black spot here has a potential thorn in it. So you have to be careful because they will definitely, well, obviously for your fingers, they will like get you. But of course, you do not want to eat the thorns at all because that'll be painful. So don't worry, in your store, usually they sell them already clean. So I'm going to show you how to clean it here if you cannot have it. But if they don't have it clean, but usually they're small. So these ones are really good. Also, it has soluble fiber in it, great for regularity. It's also great for cleansing and for your brain, for weight management. Some people sell like powders of cactus nopal, it's called, but I don't believe on that. I believe in the real thing. So it's really good. So if you have the opportunity to cook them, I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways to do it. But first, how to clean it. So number one, so get your knife, get a small knife. First thing is you're actually literally gonna cut like the bottom part. And then you're gonna, with your knife, you're gonna go all around and remove that side from the top. The top and the sides have like most of the thorns. And they're tiny, you might not even see them, but all that you're gonna get rid of, okay? So once you've done that, then, okay, so I'll show you the old style way, and I'm gonna show you a trick because I have a little gadget for it. But literally, you will go with a very sharp knife, and then you go across like this, just like make it, and so see how you kind of like removing all those little spots. Be careful, and always, and you want to work in a clean board. You're not going to make anything after that. You're going to wash everything because those little thorns, you do not want them. So go like that and kind of peel. But you have to go through every of those little black spots and remove them. So it takes a little bit of time. So that's why I feel it's easier when they already sell them clean for you. But I didn't find them clean this time in my local bodega. So another thing you can do is try getting them as small as possible. The younger you get them, the less fibers will be, like it will be a little bit more faster to cook. But see how you're gonna have to remove that. Also, once you've done that and remove all that carefully, then make sure to rinse it under water. I'm gonna rinse it quickly and go over it. Once you rinse it and go over it, you can see, oh, I missed this part, I missed this part. So that you don't have, you see all those spots are removed. See, these little white thorns are the ones that are like a little bit, are gonna have a problem if you have them. But the younger the cactus, the younger the, so these ones are not as young, but the younger are these actually, they may have less of the thorns. So that's one way of doing it with your, as I call it, the oil style, but you do have to take a little bit of a time with it. And then the other one is, I'm going to show you this little gadget. It comes like this. It's really good. This is like a sharp end. See how you see it on the side. So you grab it like that and look what you're going to do. So we're going to do the same concept, but we're going to just like literally scrape the sides like this and just go at it. Don't press it too much, but see how it starts scraping it. Careful with your fingers, but it just naturally scrapes because they are little, they protrude a little bit, these. And then in one go, you can do it. I'm sure you can get these like on Amazon. In like some of the bodegas, you can find them. I think I've bought it in one of these bodegas in Washington Heights. But see, that was like cleans it a lot faster. You could even go to the one I didn't finish and go with it. And then remember, now we're going to rinse it again. So just so you know, so this is the unclean one. This is the clean one. But before, I will go and rinse everything, but I already have a clean one here. So now I'm going to show you how to cook it. So I rinsed it a little bit. So there's a consistency, there's a little consistency in the liquid. You know how like aloe vera has this little like, I don't know how to call it, like little consistency of like runny. So they have the same thing because it's from the cactus family. That's okay. So this is the best way we're gonna do is, so once you rinse it and everything, so this is the easiest way. You're gonna grab a pan and just heat it, just like that. You can also do this in the oven. So to prepare it, you're gonna grab your knife. So this is the bottom part and this is the top part. So you're gonna go and they call it making little hands out of it. You'll see why. Just you're gonna do strips out like that, but keep the whole thing basically bound together from the bottom. You see it? This is the little hands, I call them manitas in Spanish. So now you have them like that. And the only thing you're gonna do to cook it is put it in the hot pan, just like that. And I'll do another one. It's going to basically, you're going to steam it in a little bit in their own. And what it's going to do is actually cut down on that, like the little like liquid that comes out of it. And And then there's another one here. This is a non-stick pan. I don't put anything in it. I just put the nopal, and it goes in there. It's really good. So once it's done, and I'll show you when it's done, then you can, I only serve it with a little bit of salt and pepper once it's cooked. And then, by the way, let's not forget let me show you our sauce over there. I'm going to add my bok choy in here and just give it a little stir. Maybe you can see it closer. It's a little farther. And so this one, once I add the bok choy, it'll be ready. I told you in like 5 minutes or so, because the sauce is nice and hot. Okay. So while that cooks, my lentils are ready. I'm gonna show you how our cactus is going. Yeah, actually I can lower a little bit the heat from my sauce because it's cooking really fast. Basically, it's gonna wilt. And then you can remove the hot chili that I had. And I'm gonna show you how to serve it. But first, let me grab my tongs. Make sure if you have tongs for a non-stick that they have like plastic on the top, not so you don't scrape it. So see how it starts oozing in the flavor, and it will start changing in color. It's still, right now you can see it is fairly light green, which is good, but it needs a little longer to cook. And this is one of the best ways to do it because it'll just like dehydrate. See, this one is actually, for some reason, the second one I put is cooking a little faster, maybe from the pan. And then at this point, you can season it with a little bit of salt. And the best thing to serve it, I think, is just like that with some lemon juice. So get some lime, and we'll serve it. I'll put it in. The other way you do it is once they're done, and this we're talking about a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes top or something. You see how they change colors, and you can flip in from time to time. You can put a little bit of I can dress them up with just a little bit of olive oil and the lime juice on top of it with salt and pepper, and it's delicious. You can cut them, you can chop them and make it a salad with tomatoes. That's also very typical. Tomatoes and chilies and cilantro, and it's really good. The bok choy. So the bok choy is, you see how it just wilted in minutes? It's so far. So now I'm gonna serve it.
That looks delicious, JP. I love bok choy.
Yeah, it's so great, isn't it? So now we're gonna serve it. So here's our plate. I put some steamed potatoes on the one side. So this is like a whole meal. And then we're gonna grab our lentils, right, nice and hot. These are like green lentils. You could do the French, which are like darker green. If you are also like a little bit resistant to using beans and stuff, lentils is a great way to start them. So you can just have some of the lentils in there. Remember to soak them. It's better. Discard the water after soaking and then cook them, and they cook super fast. And then now from that, then we're just gonna add our, on the top, we'll add our sauce with the bok choy. So we have some of the peppers in it. And actually that will just dress and make it really flavorful for the whole thing. Oops. And then you think you're afraid of it, don't serve the chili, or if you're brave, you can put the chili in for someone to eat it like I would. Okay, and last but not least, we're seeing how they finish the cactus. So they're almost done, these ones. You can also do them in the oven. You cut them like this and then put them in a sheet pan, bake them at 300, and all basically until you see them, they start getting dry. You see that this color? They change to a little dollar green, but that's exactly what we want. So now we can just serve it. I'm gonna serve it here on a little Mexican plate.
Beautiful
And so
plate.
you can serve it just like that. And then we're gonna dress it with our lime juice, fresh lime juice. I make tacos with these ones too. That's a great idea with corn tortillas. But you're adding I just like it as simple as that. Maybe a little bit more salt, some pepper. You want a little dress it of olive oil, that also works. And then you have them here, the two dishes.